All right. We here. What's poppin', people? We here at RKT Real Estate in the building. Shout out to Monogamous Play, AJ Lino, and June Sports in the chat. Man, so this topic, stop saying yes to things you can't afford. You feel what I'm saying? So what's the give us the rundown on that real quick.
Yeah, man, it's simple as the title sounds, man. Mainly to chop it down even further, stop saying yes. You know, a lot of times we say yes to a lot of things that we can't do. And every time you say yes to something, you're committing to something.
Right.
No matter what the consequence it is, no matter what work goes into it, you're committed to it. So meaning that if you tell a friend, yo, if a friend asks you, I need a ride next Monday, can you take me to work and pick me up? And you say yes, you've now committed to that. Now you've committed to making time out your day to go pick your friend up. You committed to spending money to spend money on gas to go get your friend. And so you're taking time away from yourself. And not saying you can't do favors, but every yes you say is a commitment that you're stuck to. And you're held to a certain standard. And a lot of times, every dollar that's not planned for is a dollar wasted. So if you're busy saying yes to a bunch of these random things throughout your day, throughout your week, throughout your month, they all add up and they take away time. And we know time is currency. Time is money. So it's one of those things where you can't keep saying yes and doing all these favors and this and that for people when it's not benefiting you. You know, you got to have a selfish season.
Right.
You know, it's funny. I was watching the video. You know who said something similar like that? What's going on, Moss? You know who said something similar like that? What's his name? Ice-T. Ice-T said that. He said something like, you know, he told his friend no to take him to the airport. And the reason being is because now he's responsible. He said, now I got to be responsible for getting you to the airport on time. And if I don't get you to the airport on time, you get to blame me for it.
Right.
And when he said that, I'm like, wow, that's crazy, because I never really thought about it like that. But that's the real thing. He said yes versus saying no. You know, I can't do it. Now he put himself in a position to where now, like, you know, he just had to switch up his whole thing. He had to get up early, put gas in the car, pick up his friend, and then take him to the airport. And I get it, because I was the person who done that. For a long time, I was a yes man. So I can relate to this 1,000%. What happens is you get overloaded and it's, you can't keep up. You know, it's a low-key mental breakdown.
Right.
So you because what happens is when you say yes, it converts into becoming a people pleaser. And when you become a people pleaser, you're actually pleasing yourself less. You're putting yourself on the back burner. You know? And you don't win like that. That's where you're finishing last. So I learned that personally, that you must say no. It is the balance of life. You have to say no to conserve your piece of what you have going on. And sometimes it may not be the right thing. Sometimes you can say yes, but I think you have to have the discernment to know what you are able to say yes to and what it's okay to say, no, sorry, I can't do it. No, sorry. You know, and I think that's important.
It's real shit. You know, it's and guys, you call up to ask money questions, not dating questions, at 919-647-9392.
Yes, sir.
919-647-9392 is the number. You feel what I'm saying? And you know the funny thing is that I think it's interesting because the title saying yes, stop saying yes to things you can't afford. I think that, you know, literally afford with money, but also afford to do just in general. You know what I'm saying? Because what happens is that, you know, if you don't have the time or energy to make something happen, but you are saying yes to it because that's what you're used to doing, you feel what I'm saying? Or you feel like you need to, or whatever it is like that, then you're going to realize like, shit, well, I agreed to do this thing. And this is the crazy part. You have people who agree to something, right? And they have no problem just flaking and just not doing it. They're just like, fuck it, I ain't gonna do it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
What happens is the worst is that when you're a person of your word, because then you know you're going to do it. That's that's the part that's crazy. You know what I mean? Yeah. So, you know,
it's sometimes the consistency in character can be a double-edged sword, especially with manipulative people.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, sure.
Because it's like, for example, the I just saw I just watched a video of a guy. It was one of them dating videos, and the guy was telling the story about how he almost got caught up into like raising a child that wasn't his. So it was a chick that he was fucking with for a while, and the chick called him out the blue, hit him up out the blue, called him up, was like, "Hey, we need to talk." Then he called her and he was like, "Yeah, I think I just had your daughter." He was like, "Word," and she sent him photos and videos or whatever, and he was like, "Yo, the baby really looked like me." So then he went to go check it out, whatever, was holding the baby and shit. And then they went to go. So he was smart enough to say, "Hey, I'm gonna do a DNA test before I sign anything or whatever." So fine. So they went to the doctor. The doctor said, "I could give you a call." And he was like, "Nah, you could call her." And he was like, "All right, I'll call her, but I'll send you the letter of the results."
Right.
So she hit him up, was like, "Hey, I got the call from the doctor." And he was like, "Word, all right, so what's up?" And she said, "It's yours." And he said, "All right, cool." Between him and his mom and his family, they all excited, started buying baby clothes and all this other shit. But then the letter came maybe like a week later. Open up the letter and it said there is zero possibility that he's the father of the kid.
Wow.
So he called the woman up, was like, "Yo, I just got the letter. What's up?" And she was like, "What you mean?" Still holding on to the lie. But he was like, "This letter says is zero possibility of me to be that kid's father." And she was like, "Well, it's just that I seen how good of a father you are to your son, and I wanted that for my daughter."
Oh my God.
That is
So I bring that up to say that a lot of times you gotta like when you're a man of consistency, when you a stand-up dude, when you're a man of your word, manipulative people would try to use that against you.
Right.
Because they know if they can hook you in, you're going to fulfill your obligations. Because if they can make you believe that you're obligated, they know you're going to follow through and you're going to go above and beyond because that's your character.
Right.
So that's why you have to be careful to say no to motherfuckers that don't have your best interest. And you have to be so goddamn, like, you got to be so focused on yourself that it's like an easy filtration to get bullshit people out your life.
Yeah.
Yeah. You see what I'm saying? Because, every once in a while, y'all see me wear a selfish T-shirt, right? Y'all see me wear a T-shirt and it says selfish. A lot of we've been raised to believe that being selfish is a bad thing.
Right.
But it's so far from the truth, because if you're truly selfish, what happens when you're selfish from a healthy place is that you put yourself in a position to be at an advantage position of abundance. You understand? Because truthfully, you should only give when you have abundance.
Right.
A lot of people give to get. That's a mistake, because to give, if you look up the word to give, it actually means to donate, which means charity. When you give charity, do you expect it to come back?
Nope.
No. You give because you have it to give. A lot of people don't have it to give, but because they want niggas to like them, they say yes to certain things and they obligate themselves to certain things because they want to be cool with niggas, or because they want a bitch to like them, or because they want some pussy or whatever the fuck it is. But the truth is, you should only give when you are in a position of abundance. That's why you really need to say it's like saying yes and saying no. As long as you're saying yes to yourself, you should have no problem.
Right.
You understand? Because you should put yourself in a position of abundance. Because here's the thing, guys. I always tell guys, you need to be operating at plus 100. Because if I'm operating at 110, that means I could give up 2 and still have 108. I could give up another 3 and still have 105. I could give up another 4 and still be at 101. I could even give you that extra 1. But as soon as you start cutting into my 1%, that's where I got to draw the line. I mean, as soon as you start cutting into my 100%, I got to draw the line, because at that point, I'm not in a position of privilege. I'm not in an advantage position anymore. And that's me doing damage to myself.
Right.
Like I have clients, I have guys that email me and all that shit. They got family members begging them and asking them to borrow money, and then they be like, yeah, my family members, they be getting mad when I ask them back for their money. And I said, brother, is that money that you gave them? Is that money that you needed? They be like, yeah. I'm like, why the fuck you giving them money that you need?
Right.
Mm-hmm.
I could only give you money that I know I can do without.
Right.
Because I ain't no bank. I can't process loans with niggas. I'm not a bank.
Mm-hmm.
I got nephews and shit that owe me money right now. But when I handed it to them, I already told myself this ain't coming back. I'm doing a favor for this little nigga.
Right.
I'm doing a favor for him. And you think I would never ask him for that money back ever?
Right.
If one day out the blue, he come up to me and be like, yo, Unc, here go that bread I owed you, man. Thank you so much for helping me out when I was in that spot. I'll take it as a blessing and shit, probably pay it forward, or probably, you know what I'm saying, do some other shit with it. Or next time I go to dinner, tip big or some crazy shit like that. You get what I'm saying? But a family member paying you back, nigga, if understand, when you giving bread to a family member, that is a gift. You understand what I'm saying? Unless you do paperwork, and the only thing that's the paperwork is good for is not for them to really pay you back. It's so you have something to take to court if you choose to take them to court.
Right.
That's still they're gonna pay you back, because family members, yo, man, when it comes to family members, bro, them niggas, they will take your money and be mad at you for asking for your money back, bro. I'm like, are you serious?
Oh my god.
That.
Like,
you know,
gotta be real about this shit, bro.
You know what's crazy? You know what made me start saying no? Me getting desensitized to rejection in this business.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So a lot of times, we'll have clients that are not ready to jump on board. They need more time to process things, or it's just not their time. They're not ready yet. So we'll get some not right now. We'll get some no's, right? But that allowed me to say, you know what? Okay, I get it. It makes sense. It's important to say no. Like you can't always say yes. And then from that perspective, it's for me, I call it systemic desensitization, to where I'm desensitized to somebody saying no, or to the rejection part of it. And like it doesn't faze me. Right. You get what I'm saying? And I think a lot of people, they're afraid to say no because of the rejection factor. So I think that, it's important for people to kind of get the no's, so that when it does happen, you are not like mentally like fucked up. You get what I'm saying? And I think that's what causes a lot of people to just naturally say yes, like you were saying earlier, Miles, as far as they want to be cool with somebody, or they want to be liked in that, from that perspective, so then they'll spend money that they don't have just so that they won't be perceived in a certain way, versus just saying no. Who cares how you perceive me? I don't care. I said no for a specific reason. Right. But they're afraid of that, so then they say yes. It's more safer.
Right.
Shit.
And it'll cost them. The safety costs you.
Now, sometimes it's like sort of like a compulsion to say yes. You know what I mean? So like when something is a compulsion, it's sort of subconscious, a subconscious thing that you do that you don't realize you're doing, but you're just kind of doing it because you operate that way. You've always been doing it. So it becomes like, it's almost like a habit. And when something's a habit, right? So if you have a habit of saying yes, or you have a habit of taking on this or taking on that, or trying to make this happen, then what happens is you end up saying yes to things. And this is how you know it's a compulsion, because you say yes to things, and then when you're about to do the thing you said yes to, you're like, fuck, like, you don't want to do it. Like, because in the moment you said it, but now that it has to be done, you're kind of like, shit, man, damn, I gotta go do this shit. But it's like, you just said it because that's what you do all the time. So it could be like, it could be anything, just like like if you go hanging out with your boys all the time every weekend or whatever, and they'd be like, yo, we going to this spot, you coming through on Sunday? And you'd be like, yeah, I'll be there, I'm gonna come through. And so you just say it because you've always done it, but now that Sunday comes, you're like, shit, I ain't even, like, I really don't go to do it, but it kind of happened that you said yes because you always say yes. You see what I'm saying? So it's like you gotta really be careful about that, because sometimes what happens is that becomes a thing where, and especially like I said, if you're the type of person that follows through on what you say, then it's like you're almost like a slave to your own like compulsion. You feel what I'm saying? So, it's crazy.
Yeah.
This shit's wild, man. You know what I'm saying? But guys, remember, you guys can call up 919-647-9392. 919-647-9392. You don't have to donate to call up to this show. We just call up and questions about money, business, shit like that. No dating, relationship questions. Save that for the other channel.
And I was gonna say too, anybody in the chat, if you guys know anyone in Florida, or if you're in Florida yourself, if you're in the Central Florida area, we have our Finance and Fun event in Kissimmee, Florida. So if you know anyone, did we have the I know we had the
I'm about to get it for you right now. I'm about to get it right now. Yeah.
So if you guys know anybody, definitely send them the flyer, send them the link, and have them come out. The vibes are ready, the drinks, the food, the financial literacy that you're going to get from the different speakers, the performers. The fun goes on, the prize giveaway. So you know how it go down. So you guys know anybody?
So so to piggyback off Kayleen, so in this case, yes, say yes. We want you to take on. No, but definitely, guys. Go ahead and pass the flyer around. Everybody needs something out of this. We're going over everything from credit, how to buy a house, to real estate, to life insurance, to property management. You know what I mean? To Roths. Everybody needs something, no matter who you are. So if you got a family member in the Central Florida area near Orlando, tell them to come through. It's free food, free drinks, free performances. So you can't beat it, and it's going to help better your life. This is life-changing stuff. So pass the flyer on. Reach out to your cousin, your mother, the person you speak to in Florida. Use this as an opportunity to reconnect with that person in Florida and tell them to come through. So definitely, people.
Real talk. So yeah, click those links in the chat so we get that shit popping. You feel what I'm saying? Now also, when we say yes to things that you can afford, like as far as like financially, I think a lot of people do that shit all the time. You know what I'm saying? But what's interesting is that, see, you guys help people with their credit. So a lot of times a person can't afford it and they'll use credit. So what is your thoughts on that as far as, stop saying yes to things you can't afford, but isn't using the credit card saying yes to things you can't afford? You feel what I'm saying? So what?
I like that one. I like that spinoff. That's exactly it. Say no to your credit card. When the machine says tap, don't do it. Say no. To Mr. Lucario's point, no, that's a real valid point, man. I mean, with the credit card usage, you got to say no. Like, that's the number one thing you need to start saying no to, man, because every time you purchase something, it costs you 25% more. I mean, you spend $1, it's gonna cost you $1.25 instead of $1. You spend $10. I ain't good at math, but that's about $12.50. You know what I mean? You spend $100, that's $125. So say no to the credit card expenses. You know what I mean? You should only be using it in emergency situations or to build your credit. Those two reasons, nothing else. Every other reason, say no. I like that one right there.
Yeah, because sometimes people, they go overboard and do a whole bunch of crazy shit. You know what I'm saying? And
no, definitely
become an issue. You know what I mean?
No, definitely, man. But overall, like the whole saying no thing, it's a big deal. Because to Miles' point earlier on, we're conditioned, and Ms. Locario's point earlier, we're conditioned to say yes all the time because nobody wants to be the bad guy, nobody wants to be the mean person, and naturally we're human, so you want to help other people. So that's all good and fine, but the problem is that, to Miles' point, if you're not in a position of abundance, you shouldn't be helping anybody else. If you're not at 100, you can't help anybody else. You gotta say no. You cannot say yes because it'll only push you further back. That's like if you only have $20 to your name, and somebody say, "Can I borrow $17?" Can't do it. You know what I mean? If you do it now, you only have $3 to your name. It's gonna push you further back, and you don't even really know the real reason that person needs that $20, if it's even serious or it's a dire need. So you might get that person $20 for him to go buy a pack of smokes. You know what I mean? So you gotta learn how to say no. And unless you're in a position of abundance, like Miles said, it's not worth it. Because at the end of the day, that's the only time you can give, when you have something to give, not when you don't have something to give that you're not supposed to be given.
Mm-hmm.
Facts.
Shit. Real shit, real shit. So, guys, make sure remember, get the tickets if you're gonna be in the Florida. So, where is it? Which part of Florida is this at again?
Kissimmee, Florida.
Okay, cool. So make sure if you guys in that area, or you want to, because I know Florida's a big ass place. So
It's huge.
it ain't like New York, it ain't like Brooklyn and Queens.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But because some places like hours and hours and drive. But yeah,
if they're in Central Florida, they should be fine. Like if they're in Orlando, anywhere in the Central Florida area, they'll be fine.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Nice. That's what's up. So yeah, so guys, say yes, because I know y'all can afford it. So make sure you go over there and get that shit cracking. So now
it's free. I hope they can afford it.
It's free, so you guys can do it. So do you think that there's anything that a person should say yes to that they can't afford? Like, can we go the opposite direction? Do you think what are some things that you think, or is there nothing that you should say yes to that you can't afford? Like, what's your thoughts on that?
No, I mean, I think you should say yes to things that yes to things that's an investment. I mean, if it's an investment, you can say yes to that, because you can't put too much in an investment if you don't have it. You should be able to say yes, because you do got to invest your time in certain stuff, and if you're gonna invest, you do got to say yes to something, even if you can't afford it at the moment. Why? Because at some point you have to take the jump, you have to take the risk. At some point you have to sacrifice. So you can say yes if it's worth the sacrifice. In that situation, investing in sitting down doing the consultation with us, say yes, because it's gonna cost you something up front, but it's gonna make you more money down the line. So investments, it's okay to say yes if it's a smart investment. If it's a dumb investment, no.
Right.
And I would just to kind of piggyback off that, even what Miles was saying earlier with the abundance, say yes when you're close to or already at the 3 to 6 month mark of saving up your monthly expenses.
Mm-hmm.
So you have some security and some wiggle room, some cushion to invest.
Right.
You have that room, so you can say yes now. Now, if something goes wrong, after something happens, now you have anywhere from, like I said, 3 to 6 months of your monthly expenses covered. So you have that, like I said, you have that cushion, you have that wiggle room to actually, do certain things, invest in certain things.
Mm-hmm.
You don't want to invest with your last.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And that gets into discipline and delayed gratification, because investments it's like an upfront no for a long-term yes.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
See what I'm saying? Like, because it's like, oh yeah, I wanted to buy those Jordans, but that $200, if you put it away every month, starting now into an IUL or something like that, like later on, you're gonna see how much you could benefit yourself.
Right.
You say no up front, but you're actually saying yes to yourself in abundance later on. You understand? But you gotta be willing to make, like you said, make that sacrifice and put that money away. We gotta have patience. We gotta have discipline. And honestly, like as men, it's even more important, because as men, we're the ones that provide. We're the ones that provide, man. We provide structure. We provide the access to resources for the female, for the children. You know what I'm saying? For the rest of the fam, like, it is what it is. Like we could get into all them other conversations later about 50-50 and should a bitch pay on the first date and all that other dumb shit. We could talk about that on another show. But man to man, we know that we're the ones that everybody comes to.
Right.
You understand? We are the ones that everybody. When we're looking at, society, we're looking at community, we're looking at family, we're the ones. You understand? So we got to be the ones that make sure we got our shit on point. And again, that's when we're talking about saying yes, we have to prioritize ourselves. We have to prioritize our money, our resources, and most importantly, our time.
Mm-hmm.
You understand? Because we can't be giving all our time to others. Because when are we ever going to get shit done for ourselves? Because your family will need you to do this, this, and this, but then get mad at you for being a lazy nigga and not working hard enough on your own shit.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? oh yeah, can you do this for me? And can you do that for me? And can you help me with my kids? And can you watch my kids? And can you pick me up from the airport? Can you do that? Can you do this? And you don't want to tell niggas no, but at the same time, it's like, listen, if I don't say no, that means I can't work on what I need to work on. So you could ask me for something even more important later.
Right.
So again, it's that same thing where it's a no right now, but it's a bigger yes later on, a more important. Because it's like, oh, could you help me watch my kids? Could you do this? Could you do that? No, but later on, when you got it like that, oh shit, can you pay the deposit for my son to go to college for his first semester dorm fees? Can you give him money for his graduation? Can you? And it's like, yeah, I got it like that now. So yes, I can pay for his whole first fucking semester.
Right.
But you was mad at me before when I didn't want to help you watch your fucking kid, right? But now you need me to help you with his school tuition and his dorm fees and all this other shit. Now, I'm the best uncle in the world now, right? You see what I'm saying? So sometimes you got to tell your family no. Right. Let them be mad at you. Let them talk about you your back and all that other dumb shit. It don't really fucking matter as long as you're doing what you're supposed to do for yourself as a man, bro. Because everybody gonna have something to say regardless.
That's a fact.
Listen, whether you're doing good or you're doing bad, they're gonna have something to say. So why not do what you're supposed to do for yourself anyway? You understand that?
I mean, say no now so you can say yes later. Yep.
I like that. Yeah, I like
exactly. This is something that I saw. I mean, I've been saying it for years, but just to reiterate, I saw Floyd Mayweather saying that shit to Gervonta Davis the other day. He was like, they're gonna have something to say when you're doing bad. They're gonna have something to say when you're doing good. So you might as well do the best thing that you can do for you.
Exactly.
You understand? Because if they truly fuck with you, then you could truly fuck with them. You understand? Because when you see, the thing is that when you a solid dude, anybody who respects you and you tell them no, they could be disappointed, but they'll understand.
Right.
It's the motherfuckers who don't really respect you when you tell them no, and then they say some shit like, well, that's why you an ain't shit nigga anyway.
Exactly.
You know, that's why you and Lacari over there playing on the internet. Yeah, who's playing now?
Right.
We've been so-called playing on the internet for the last 15, 20 years. Who's playing now? Every motherfucker that used to tell me I'm playing on the internet, they got a punch of a fucking clock.
Exactly.
Not me, though.
Exactly.
I'm doing as good or better than them.
Right.
on the low, though. On the low. I'm not even trying to blow it up like that. But that's what I'm saying. Like, you got to be able to tell motherfuckers no. And the people who respect you for real, they'll understand. So don't be afraid to tell people no, especially the people that you love. Because the people that love you truly will totally understand, because they know that you trying to do something serious for you.
Right.
And they want you to get in that position to win. Because later on, when they really need something and they be like, hey, listen, and you be like, nah, shit, I've been working hard all this time and I put myself in position. So that ain't nothing to me. You can have that.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? And when I give it to them, they know I'm not asking for it back. Why? Because they left me alone long enough for me to put myself in the right fucking position. But if I'm too busy telling niggas, yes. Oh, well, I don't want my family to be mad at me. So here, you can have it here. Even though I needed to pay my rent, you could pay your rent with it. Fuck out of here, bro. I needed to pay my rent.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? So you gotta know how to say no. You gotta know why you saying no, and you gotta put yourself first, man. Because if you ain't got it, then how the fuck you gonna give it to them?
Exactly.
Your cup has to run it over first, before you can pour it to anybody else.
That's a fact. Yeah. That's real shit. So any last words, any last things you want to say before we wrap this up?
Listen, man, book a free consultation on the website. Definitely come to the event if you're in the Central Florida area. And yeah, man, just learn to say no.
Yeah.
That's what.
Just say no.
Real talk. So guys, make sure you guys go to rktrealestate.com. You know what I'm saying? Make sure you guys hit up Kilima Rashidi. And that's pretty much it, man. We out of here. Remember, the truth is inside you. Peace. We gone. We out.